Hi there, I'm Alec. And everyone, I think with this video right here that you're watching right now, I think it's gonna make me YouTube's NBT. And by that I mean YouTube's new boy toy, or its nasty big toe, or its natural big Titan. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Nah, I'm just joking. NBT actually stands for next big thing. And as an NBT myself, I'm gonna take this time to talk about the NBTs that came before me. So to do that, let's talk about Radio Disney's next big thing. If you don't know what Radio Disney's next big thing was, it was a singing competition that was put on by Radio Disney from the years of 2008 to 2012. NBT would feature a group of young unsigned artists or bands that would have the chance to have their songs played on Radio Disney, and as well they get to do small interview segments in between the songs on the channel. Each contestant would get about 2 weeks of airtime on Radio Disney, and after all the contestants were featured, Radio Disney listeners then got the chance to vote for their favorite by voting on Radio Disney's website or by texting their vote in. Now, I never did vote for anybody to be the next big thing because I barely ever listened to Radio Disney in general. However, I do remember the competition because they used to advertise it a bunch on Disney Channel whenever it was happening. And if anybody knows me, they know I do be watching Disney Channel back in the day. Like, they do these segments with Tiffany Thornton from Sunny with a Chance where she would be interviewing the contestants and she'd be like, "Oh, where are you from, little girl?" "I'm from Tennessee. Howdy." Cool. I am unable to relate to you in any way, so let's listen to your song. Disney Channel would always advertise Next Big Thing as this big singing competition that they were running in the vein of like American Idol or America's Got Talent, just specifically with young artists, and also you could only hear them on the radio instead of on TV. But here's the thing that I started to wonder recently. Did Radio Disney ever find the next big thing? The NBT, as some might say? So I wanted to find that answer. So let's go through all of the winners of the 5 seasons of NBT that were done and find out if Radio Disney, and more importantly, the Radio Disney listeners, were ever able to find the next big thing. I wanted to find out all of the winners' stories, where they came from, how they got started, what their time on NBT was like, if any of their songs that were featured on Radio Disney were any good, what they did after becoming the NBT, and to see if any of them are still doing music nowadays. So let's find out together, shall we? Now real quick, I know that technically NBT actually went on until 2020, but when the 5th next big thing was crowned in 2012, Radio Disney instead started to move on from it being a singing competition with young unsigned artists for NBT being a platform where they promote already established and upcoming artists. Some of the artists being featured during this time being Fifth Harmony, Shawn Mendes, and Kelsey Ballerini. So we aren't going to be talking about any of those winners because even at the time, we already knew that they were kind of the next big thing. In this video, I'm just going to be focusing on the first 5 NBTs that were crowned, that were all young and unsigned to any major label. Alright, sound good? Cool. Thank you. Anyway, let's get into it by going all the way back to 2008. Season 1 of NBT started in November of 2008 and went on until April of 2009. Now, Season 1 was a bit of an outlier among the other seasons of NBT, because while the other 4 seasons only featured 5 artists or bands each, Season 1 featured a whopping 11. The contestants featured this season were the bands Push Play, Comic Book Heroes, All-Star Weekend, at the time known just as All-Star, and the artists Cody Fry, Bray Morgan, Casey Lynch, Haley DiBiase, Katie Lawhorn, Daniel Thrush, Sarah Solovey, and the winners, a sister duo known as Johnny and Brookie. Johnny and Brookie were a teen pop duo from Arizona, composed of sisters Johnny and Brookie Allen. The two of them had been performing music together since Johnny was 5 years old and Brookie was 3 years old. Damn, these girls' parents got them working faster than parents that would send their kids off to the coal mine did. The sisters put out their first album independently in 2000, when they were 7 and 5 years old. Now granted, it was a Christmas album sung by a bunch of kids, but hey, they still put out an album. It's more than I've ever done. Now, let's jump to 2008. The girls get selected to be on a brand new singing competition, Radio Disney's Next Big Thing, where their single Missing Me Crazy was a song they had featured in the competition.
Cause you've always been the only one inside my heart.
pretty good. All right. So now that y'all have heard a little snippet of it, what do y'all think that song was about? Go ahead and guess. I'm just going to stop you there before you even guess because you're already wrong. That song is about the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, because why wouldn't it? You see, Johnny and Brookie were such huge Joe Bro fans. They saw them several times in concert and were even featured in an exclusive DVD that came with copies of the Jonas Brothers' album A Little Bit Longer at Target.
You guys were awesome. The Jonas Brothers rock.
And we love you with hearts. Do a heart, so I'm not alone. Thank you. It means that we love them.
Love the Jonas Brothers.
We love the Jonas Brothers with
all our hearts.
But after seeing and interacting with Joe, Nick, and Kevin so much, they made an entire song about wondering if the Jonas Brothers even knew who they were. Well, don't worry, because I can assure you two that they definitely don't know who you are now. So maybe because they were pandering to the Disney audience, maybe because of some type of grassroots campaign they had going on, or maybe because they made a deal with an ancient spirit or whatever, Johnny and Brookie were crowned the first winners of Radio Disney's Next Big Thing on April 30th, 2009, after over 9 million total votes were casted on RadioDisney.com and texted in from mobile devices. And I'll be honest, I don't know how the hell they beat out All-Star Weekend. I mean, do we all remember how big they were? They were huge back in the day. But, well, they won. And what did they win? Well, even after doing a bit of research, that's still a bit hazy. You'd think it'd be something like what American Idol does, where they'd get the chance to put out a song through Disney Records or something. And while future NBTs got the chance to do that, the only prize our first NBTs got was getting to perform on the Disney Channel Summer at Seas event in July of 2009 on the Disney Wonder cruise ship. Now, Johnny and Brookie did say that when they won, they were told that they would be opening for a big artist at another event. But at the time of them winning, they were not told who that would be. But it seems like that event ended up being the Summer at Seas cruise, where they got to open for Corbin Bleu. They also got to hang out with other Disney Channel stars like Tiffany Thornton and Rashawn Fagan and sign autographs. Johnny and Brookie were trying so hard to be a part of the Disney brand that they even made a song called Can't Get Enough. And it's all about, and I'm not joking when I say this, how they can't get enough of those gosh darn Disney Channel shows. Yeah, that song was definitely made by some teenagers that turned into Disney adults. But regardless of desperately trying to continue to be a part of the Disney machine, sadly, Johnny and Brookie eventually got spat out and left out in the cold. But that didn't stop our girls. The two of them eventually got casted on a Christian tween show called I Shine Connect, where they were a featured artist and they sang the show's theme song from Season 2 and Season 3. So remember kids, if the mouse gives up on you, God won't.
I shine when you shine. Tell us how you shine.
They also toured around, doing a lot of shows at malls, festivals, schools, and churches, and continue to put out a few albums under I Shine Records. And while doing that, they were pretty active on YouTube, uploading videos of their live performances, vlogs, as well as covers of popular songs by artists like Justin Bieber, One Direction, and Maroon 5, with some of these videos almost getting 500,000 views. And they kept this going up until 2013, because in January of 2013, they got the chance to perform at the National Association of Music Merchants. Do you think when they think back on that experience that they get flashbacks? I'm sorry, I had to. It was right there, you guys. And they did a couple more shows throughout the year. But in November of 2014, their last post on their Facebook page was announcing they put out a compilation album of all of their songs from 2008 to 2014. And it seems like they just left the music industry behind after that, even though it's more like the music industry left them behind. So now what are Johnny and Brookie up to? Are either of them doing any music at all? No, it doesn't look like it. My guess as to why they stopped when they did was that since Johnny was 22 and Brookie was 20 in 2014, it was just about that time that they both needed to decide if they wanted to keep pursuing music as a career, or if they peaked when they became the next big thing, and it was about time for both of them to start looking for a more steady job. So now it seems that they both have careers in social media and marketing, and are enjoying their lives outside of the music industry. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of what they've been up to in their lives nowadays, because from what it seems, they're just people trying to live their normal lives, like you and I. So everyone, please be cool. Alright? I'm not trying to tell their entire life story in this video. I just wanted to talk about them on NBT, okay? So all of y'all, be cool. Don't be going in their DMs being all like, how you doing? Please don't do that. Please. They're just people. Okay, so, were the first next big things the next big things? No. No, they were not. So let's move on to the next big thing. Season 2 of NBT took place in the end of 2009, with Radio Disney listeners getting the chance to vote in November, and the winner being crowned in mid-December. This season featured 5 new artists: Josh Golden, Symphonique Miller, Gabby Wilson, the band Crop Circle, and the winner, Jasmine Sagenario. Jasmine is a singer from the Los Angeles area who was 15 years old and living in Nashville when she got on NBT. But before being on NBT, she was on a Christian tween show called I Shine Connect. Oh, what the fuck? Yes, Jasmine was a featured artist on the first season of I Shine, and was replaced by the first next big things, Johnny and Brookie, for seasons 2 and 3. What a weird, small world we live in.
Shine and you shine, we all shine. It's our time, man. Listen up and gather round. It's time to shine it right now.
So, I guess while Johnny and Brookie were in the house of God, Jasmine went to the house of Mouse. You know, it's just funny because the Venn diagram between Christian youth singers and Radio Disney Next Big Things is a circle. Like, damn, Radio Disney listeners, you sure gotta type. During her time on NBT, Jasmine's song Make a Movie was played on Radio Disney, and she even got interviewed by Shadow Realm Tier Wand ID drawer Tiffany Thornton.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. What about you?
You know what? I'm doing good today. So tell me, how old are you?
I'm 15.
You're gonna drive soon.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
For winning NBT that year, I was able to find out that Jasmine got a lot more concrete stuff. The first one was that her song Make a Movie was featured at the very end of the Disney Channel original movie Starstruck, as well as on its soundtrack.
Do you want to dance with me? I think I got this from Chrissy.
Now, am I a little salty that I had to watch this entire pointless fucking movie just to find out when a single song plays during it? I don't know. Maybe, but I needed to be thorough. She also had a new single of hers, titled Boy Crazy, featured on the Radio Disney Jams 12 CD put out by Walt Disney Records. And finally, she got to open for Justin Bieber at 2 Radio Disney holiday concerts. Bieber. Now granted, this was pre-baby Justin Bieber, but this was One Less Lonely Girl era Justin Bieber, so still a pretty good Justin Bieber to open for. And guess what? Jasmine even got to be the One Less Lonely Girl. You know, I'll be honest, that's enough of a prize in and of itself for winning right there. Like, sure, she got to open for Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber, like, was huge, but still, that's a pretty nice thing to have on your resume. I'll say it. I graduated summa cum laude, I had a 4.0 GPA, and I opened for Justin Bieber. Twice. Now, after winning NBT, it seems like Disney kept Jasmine around a lot longer than they did with Johnny and Brookie. She traveled for Radio Disney doing shows across the country, and she even premiered a few new songs on Radio Disney like Knock Knock and Get Your Own Boyfriend.
I don't watch the clock, clock, 'cause I can't wait no more. Oh, waiting for you to knock, knock on the door of my heart. Oh.
But around 2012 seems about the time when Jasmine wasn't working as much with Disney. My assumption after going through her public Facebook page, you hear that? I'm not a stalker, I'm just doing research on her public Facebook page. There's a difference. I continued to tell myself to make myself not feel weird about this situation. Is that she wasn't performing as much because she was finishing up her last few years of high school. But after graduating in 2013, Jasmine and her little sister Talia started uploading covers together on Jasmine's YouTube channel, where Jasmine would sing and Talia would rap.
I know you're never gonna wake up. I gotta give up, but it's you. Smart money betting I'll be better off without you. In no time I'll be forgetting all about you.
But Jasmine and Talia eventually formed the group 2XO, and who helped them out with the rollout of their group? Good old Radio Disney, that too. Yeah, that's right. Radio Disney surprisingly welcomed Jasmine back with open arms. Radio Disney even premiered 2XO's first song, Summer Love, in 2017, and also their 2019 single, Blame It On You.
Blame it on you. I blame it on you. Should've thought it through, but I blame it on you.
And do you remember earlier when I said that installments of Next Big Thing after 2012 was Radio Disney featuring already established artists? Well, 2XO was Radio Disney's last ever Next Big Thing in November of 2019.
What's up? Let's get this.
Hey, we're 2XO. I'm Jazz, I'm the lead singer of the group. And I'm Tally, I'm the rapper, and we're sisters.
Everyone, she's come home. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that Jasmine won NBT in 2009 and then was featured a decade later in 2019. Okay, so that one time when we all said that she was going to be the next big thing, yeah, we lied about that. But this time she really is going to be the next big thing. Trust us. However, it seems since their song Blame It On You came out, 2XO hasn't put out anything official except for a few covers. It does seem that Talia is going to be putting out new music soon. However, this section is about Jasmine, so we will be moving on. And as far as I can tell as of now, Jasmine seems to be a makeup and beauty content creator. But who knows, with Talia teasing new music, maybe Jasmine still has a future in the music industry with her sister or by herself. So, the second Next Big Thing made a bigger splash than the first ones, but it still wasn't quite big enough. So, let's move on to Season 3. Season 3 of NBT was held at the end of 2010, with each artist being featured for 2 weeks on Radio Disney, starting September 15th. Voting started on November 24th and ended on November 30th, with the winner being crowned in early December. The 5 artists featured this season were Amber Lilly, Matthew Johnson, Sasha Edwards, Coco Jones, yes, that Coco Jones, don't worry, we'll talk about her later, and the winners of this season, a band called Kicking Daisies. Kicking Daisies was a Connecticut-based band with teens Ben Spermuli on lead guitar, Duran Visick on guitar and lead vocals, Caitlin Califas on drums, and her sister Carly Califas on bass and vocals. Kicking Daisies got their start in 2008 with Mike Mangini, a music producer who has worked with the Jonas Brothers and even recorded the Baha Men's Who Let the Dogs Out in his personal home studio. That is a true fact that I found out while writing this part that I couldn't not mention. Ben, the band's guitarist, was 12 at the time and was performing regularly at a restaurant in Fairfield, Connecticut called The Chef's Table, when the owner of the restaurant reached out to Mike to come see Ben play, calling him the next Eddie Van Halen. Mike at first was hesitant, but after eventually coming to watch the performance and liking what he saw, he asked Ben what he wanted to do in the music industry, and Ben responded that he wanted to be a part of a band. Mike immediately started looking to help Ben complete his goal. Mike then connected Ben with Duran Visick, a 14-year-old who lived in Florida at the time, by finding some of his videos of him playing the guitar on YouTube. And after Mike reached out to his family, Duran and his father quickly moved up to Connecticut for the opportunity. They then found Caitlin Califas on YouTube as well, a 16-year-old Connecticut-based drummer that luckily didn't live too far from Ben. Now, even at 16, Caitlin was already a very accomplished drummer, as she was in a band with her father, and she held a world record as the world's fastest female drummer in terms of footwork on the bass drum with 799 bass kicks in 60 seconds. And once the three of them were put together, Duran, Ben, and Caitlin, they started practicing together in Caitlin's parents' home. However, the band wasn't complete yet, as they still needed a fourth person to play on bass. So, during a practice, Caitlin ran upstairs and convinced her sister Carly, who had no musical experience prior to this and was instead interested in gymnastics at the time, to come and learn bass, and she seemingly learned it pretty quickly. Kicking Daisies made their debut in January 2009 at the Fairfield Theater Company in Fairfield, Connecticut, and after putting up videos of their performances on YouTube throughout 2009 and into 2010, they were contacted by Radio Disney to be featured on Next Big Thing. During NBT, the band was the second artist to be featured that season, from September 29th to October 12, 2010, with their single Keeping Secrets being played on Radio Disney, and listeners could also check out their song Big Bang Theory on RadioDisney.com.
I stopped myself from falling for you. I stopped myself from being used. I'll keep my secrets close. I'll keep my secrets from you.
The big prize for winning this season was getting their single Keeping Secrets released through Disney Music Group, and the chance to open for Season 1's Next Big Thing contestant All-Star Weekend on December 11, 2010 at the Radio Disney Holiday Concert in Celebration, Florida. Kicking Daisies was also a musical guest on an episode of Disney Channel's So Random, the sketch comedy spin-off show of Sunny with a Chance. Or, you know, the show that Shane and Damien from Smosh were on. Yo, Shane and Damien, do you remember these guys? Let me know. I know you watch my videos.
Give it up for Kicking Daisies!
Kicking Daisies continued to perform at a ton of different events and festivals all over the country during 2011, including Kid Fetty in Florida, Macy's Light Up the Holidays event in Philadelphia, and they even did Warped Tour. Kicking Daisies was even featured in a commercial for Baby Bottle Pop Candy that I remember being played a ton on Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Baby bottle pop rattlers. First you lick it, then you take it, and you dunk it, then you shake it. New baby bottle pop rattlers. When you taste it, you will say we're gonna rattle like a baby. New baby bottle pop rattlers.
Wow. I have not heard that song in years, but damn if it ain't a blast from the past. Those poor kids, they got babyfied. Kicking Daisies then put out an EP of some of their songs, while also confirming that they were working on a full album. And speaking of their EP, by the way, if any Kicking Daisies members is watching this video right now, just thought I'd let you know that your song Keeping Secrets is mislabeled as your song Big Bang Theory and vice versa on streaming services, so I just thought I'd let you know. If you guys could real quick fix that for me, that'd be great. I know you have the power to, right? I'm kidding. I know they most likely don't have the power to do that. It's been out of their hands for so long. The band was booked and busy, but as we all know, things never stay that way forever. Okay, so obviously the band broke up. And since bands and people don't flat out tell the internet why they broke up, I'm going to try and keep this next part in as best chronological order as I can. There might be some discrepancies, and I apologize if there are. In early 2012, Caitlin and Carly left Kicking Daisies, with the reason being cited as creative differences. From what I can tell, it seems like the band wanted to experiment with their sound, with Duran and Ben wanting to go in one direction, and Caitlin and Carly wanting to go in a different one. And that's what caused the seemingly amicable break. Duran and Ben kept Kicking Daisies going, and in late February 2012, met Richie Arthur and Jeff Maurer, who later became a part of the band. Caitlin and Carly, on the other hand, started a new band after leaving called Like Violet in April 2012. Okay, so full disclosure, the part that I don't know what happened first was if Caitlin and Carly left the band before Duran and Ben met Richie and Jeff, or if they left after. It's cited that Caitlin and Carly created Like Violet a month after Kicking Daisies broke up, but in this video where Duran and Ben said they met Richie and Jeff on February 18th of 2012, and then the announcement of the creation of Like Violet being on April 14th of that year, that's not exactly a month, so there may have been some overlap between the two groups. I don't know. I'm telling you all this to let you know what I was able to find. These things might not be accurate because obviously a band breaking up is a sore subject, and probably some NDAs were involved, so everybody involved wasn't able to get into the nitty-gritty of what happened, but those are the facts that I was able to find. Hi. Editing Alec here. So when I was originally editing this part of the video, I came across an article that was an interview with the new members of Kicking Daisies as well as Duran and Ben. And in the article, there was a quote from Duran that said that Caitlin and Carly left at the end of 2011, not in 2012. But for the life of me, I cannot find that article again. I deeply apologize. I wish I could have taken a screenshot of the article or just saved it in general, but I stupidly didn't. But this elusive article would make more sense as to the timeline of what happened with everything. I'm guessing in this one article where it says that Caitlin and Carly created Like Violet a month after leaving Kicking Daisies, that they probably just decided not to make any social media for it until April, so they worked on the band for a few months before deciding to formally announce it, which would make sense. Wanted to let you guys know, but also take this with a grain of salt. Might not have been true because I can't find this dang article for the life of me, but I swear I saw it. But once again, wanted to let you guys know what I was able to find out. But anyway, Caitlin and Carly left, leaving us now with two bands to follow. So first, I'm going to talk about Duran and Ben and what was left of Kicking Daisies. So, they added to the band Richie Arthur on guitar and vocals and Jeff Maurer on drums.
And we had already known Jeff from previous bands that we had toured with. We saw Richie, saw that he was an amazing singer, and we didn't know this at the time, but we basically right after that show found out that Richie and Jeff were a package deal, buy one, get one free kinda. So we bought one and Jeff was free.
The band also started to veer away from their pop-punk sound that they were known for to a more EDM alternative dance sound. And now Ben isn't even shredding on the guitar anymore. He's instead on the turntables. My, how the tables have indeed turned.
Deeper than my only reasons, riding while I burn through the evenings.
This new sound led them to rebrand the band as The Silent Scene in November 2013, launching the rebrand with an Indiegogo campaign to raise funds to make a new album, make a music video, and go on tour, with backers of the campaign being promised rewards such as a pizza party with the band and even a private acoustic show. And how did the Indiegogo campaign go for them? Well, yeah, that's unfortunate. So, after not making as big of a splash as they may have thought, The Silent Scene did eventually put out an EP called Cities on August 12, 2014. But from what I could find, it looks like soon after that, in around fall of 2014, The Silent Scene stopped posting and doing gigs, seemingly because they broke up. But after The Silent Scene broke up, Duran and Ben went on to create a group called Birthday, and they are still putting out music as recently as February of this year.
Give me something of yours. I'm only here like the rest of us. Only pretty at first, so ugly when it hurts.
So yeah, go check them out for yourself because they're still doing the damn thing. Good for them. Also, Ben has an EDM project he's been working on for the past few years called Echo Valley, and its brand new mixtape, titled Netlink, is being released on June 28th, 2025, the same day this video is coming out, so make sure to check it out too. Links will be in the description. Now, let's go back and talk about what Caitlin and Carly were up to in the meantime. So as mentioned, the two sisters started a band called Like Violet together, as well as with guitarist Paul Shapes Valou, who Caitlin met back in high school. Like Violet was an alternative space rock band, as they stated on their Facebook page. So think kinda like Paramore, but if they came from like a slightly different universe.
I'm gonna tell the whole world about it. And fight fire with fire if I have to. Tell the whole world I didn't lose and watch you fall to pieces.
They toured and played venues all over the Northeast United States throughout the rest of 2012 and 2013. They put out a few songs and YouTube videos here and there, but come early 2014, it seems like the band came to a halt and stopped putting out stuff as a band altogether. If I were to guess, this is another case like Johnny and Brookie, where Carly was 18 and Caitlin was 21 at the time, and they saw things weren't panning out as much for Like Violet, so they decided to call it quits. And Carly, as far as I can tell, has entirely left the music industry and is now currently working as a hair and makeup artist. She did, however, get married to their Like Violet band member, Shapes. So, congratulations to the two of them. Hey, confetti, confetti, woo! Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba, bum. I know I'm just some schmuck on the internet congratulating you two on your marriage that happened years ago, but hey, still, congrats! Caitlin, on the other hand, continued to pursue work as a touring drummer and has performed with a bunch of artists and groups. Some of those include the band Motherfeather, the all-women Led Zeppelin cover band Les Zeppelin, Big Pig, Lindsay Lomas, Zolita, Alison Pontier, Tessa Violet, Cavetown, and even Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, the girls just wanna have fun lady. I'm not a girl, but I'm having fun knowing this fact. So Caitlin is also still doing the damn thing. I recommend checking Caitlin out on social media. She has posted a lot of really cool behind the scenes stuff of her on tour with a lot of the artists that I've mentioned, especially Cyndi. Some of these videos are so dope. And that's what happened to all the members of Kicking Daisies up to now. But maybe this isn't quite the end of Kicking Daisies. Because while I was doing research and writing this very part of the video about Kicking Daisies, I checked Ben's Instagram story. And I wasn't stalking him, I was doing research about him that he's unaware that I'm doing of him. Okay, that didn't sound too good when I said it out loud. And he posted this image of an audio file to his story, tagged Caitlin in it, and she reposted it. And then, a few days later, they both made a post announcing that they were making brand new music together called Ben and Cat Back to Life, with the song coming out on April 4th, 2025. Oh my god. It's happening. And guys, I'm just saying, I commented on their post when the song came out, you know, I made a cheeky little reference to them being the next big thing, real cute, I know, so funny. And Ben liked it and said it was the best comment. So now you have to go and check out the song, alright? So, maybe the divide between the band is now healing, and something new might be on its way. Very exciting. So go ahead, go check them out, and support them right now. Or else I will crawl through this screen and slap you silly. So, NBT's number 3 made an even bigger impact than the previous two, but they still didn't quite become the next big things. So, let's move on and talk about Season 4's winner. Season 4 of NBT was held at the end of 2011, from mid-October to early December, with the winner being crowned on December 7, 2011. The Radio Disney audience could vote for their favorite artist on Radio Disney's website and by a mobile phone like usual, but there was also a new way to vote this year by using Radio Disney's Facebook page. The 5 artists featured this season were a pop rock band called Hollywood Ending, and singers Tay Barton, Zach Montana, Ladina Spence, and the winner of this season, the mononymous Shay Lee. Shay Lee was a young pop singer from the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. She was the youngest contestant that season, only being 13 years old when she competed on NBT. Before getting on NBT, Shay Lee competed in a bunch of local singing competitions, eventually posting some of her performances on YouTube so her grandparents in Australia could more easily watch her perform. And if you were a talented child in the late 2000s to early 2010s posting your stuff online, where did you end up? I think we all know.
It's very nice to meet you. You're very, very talented.
Thank you so
12
much.
years old. When did you start singing?
Well, I started singing when I was about 2.
I was barely walking at 2.
Shay Lee was featured on Ellen on October 20th, 2010, where she performed Vivi Brown's Shark in the Water. Do you guys think she sang this song because that one iconic Degrassi promo that used Shark in the Water came out during the summer of that year, or do you think it's just a coincidence? After Shay Lee was on Ellen, her mom says they were approached by many opportunities for Shay Lee to perform, which eventually culminated in Shay Lee getting picked to be a contestant on Next Big Thing in the fall of 2011.
Meet Shay Lee, one of 5 talented artists.
I'm Shaylee. I'm 13 years old, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
This season of NBT had the Radio Disney audience vote for their favorite artist each day, and after 2 weeks, the one with the least amount of votes would get knocked out, and then the voting would start all over again. Shay Lee had 2 songs featured on Radio Disney through the duration of NBT, Spotlight and the song she's most well known for, What Can I Say?
What can I say?
Dang, that's pretty good. So good, in fact, that they even made it a point in her NBT interview that aired on Disney Channel to say that she wrote her own songs, which they did not do for anyone else.
And you wrote the song, What Can I Say?
I did.
That's awesome.
What can I say?
So now I must ask, who hurt this girl to make her write a teen girl version of a One Republic song at 13 years old? Because whoever it was, I just got some questions for you. You know, this kind of just looks like I'm clapping instead of doing the thing where my bald fist is hitting my hand. It doesn't look as intimidating, does it? So when Shay Lee herself made a song as good as What Can I Say, it was kind of inevitable that she was going to win. I mean, when the other contestant she was up against at the end was a very blatant Justin Bieber wannabe, it wasn't much of a competition at that point.
Radio Disney's Season 4 NBT is Shay Lee! Give it up for Shay Lee, guys!
For winning NBT, Shay Lee got her song What Can I Say released by Disney Music Group, as well as a full music video made for it. The song was also featured in the Disney Channel original movie Radio Rebel, starring Debbie Ryan. But unlike when Jasmine had her song at the very end of Starstruck, What Can I Say was featured only 13 minutes into this movie. So I luckily did not have to watch this entire movie just to find a single song playing in the background. Oh, thank God. Man, it's the little wins that keep you going.
Now, here is an extra long track. You're a radio rebel?
That depends. Am I in trouble?
You're hired. That's what you are. You're hired. Ah!
Shaylee also went on tour with Radio Disney for the following few years, and released another single called Strangely Beautiful. But her time with Disney was pretty short-lived, as the Disney machine spat out yet another NBT winner, and Shaylee found herself outside of the Disney universe. This seemed to happen right around the end of 2013 to the beginning of 2014, right around when NBT changed their format from promoting young unsigned artists to already established artists. Because after doing some digging, Shaylee did put out a song called Be Kind to benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation, a foundation to try and stop bullying in schools, which Radio Disney did promote on their socials, but afterwards there was no more mention of Shaylee and Radio Disney working together. After her time working with Radio Disney was over, Shaylee did continue to release cover songs she made on YouTube and continued performing in the Chicago area. She was even going to release an original EP called Facts and Impossible Theories of Hope in July of 2015. However, the day the EP was supposed to release, Shaylee announced that the EP was actually not going to release at all, stating that it was due to late and unexpected contractual issues. She later stated that her debut single, Darlin', was supposed to be released already, but she was given an illogical contract and that her music was now tied up in someone else's hands. To me, and this might not be true, but from doing some digging, it sounds like this contract was going to have to make Shaylee sign away all the rights to her songs, the masters, and the production of it, so that way she wouldn't own any of her work. Kind of like what happened with Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun that led Taylor to re-record new versions of her old albums. Hi. Editing Alec here. So I was just editing this part of the video. I was on YouTube looking for B-roll when suddenly I came across this, an upload of Shaylee's single Darlin' off of her debut EP that apparently did get uploaded, but not until February 2022. And this has 500 views. But what's crazy is that it's one of those auto-generated videos of songs that are posted to YouTube, and it's provided to YouTube by Napster, you know, the file sharing service. So, you know, that's pretty crazy. I guess while writing this, I just never saw it until I was literally editing this part of the video. I may have found some lost media. Look at me go. So, Shaylee, if you're watching this, YouTube to MP3 this. Post it yourself. Get some money off of this if you're legally allowed to. It's literally been 10 years when this video uploads that this song was allegedly released. So I'll put a link to the full song in the description, but here's a quick snippet of Shaylee's unreleased single, Darlin'.
So darling, 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 you hardly a darling to grow. And darling, 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 you're like a concert in mine. I laugh for sure.
After this whole debacle with what was supposed to be her debut EP, Shaylee took some time off, enjoying her senior year of high school and taking a gap year off. During this time, though, she made and released her own independent debut EP called We All Need to Go Places, which was released in February of 2017 on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. The songs on this EP are much slower than her songs that were featured on Radio Disney, and are all acoustic. Shaylee's voice is front and center, and it kind of just makes you say, yeah, there's a reason why she was crowned the next big thing.
But I'm not lonely, I'm just alone. And I'm not your baby, I just wanna go home. But what is waiting for me there? My walls, my TV, and my kitchen floor. Oh, I'd rather listen to the rest of the song.
But after this, Shaylee didn't really release much music except for a few covers here and there on her YouTube channel, which unfortunately are all privated now. But she did release one original single called Landline in December of 2018. But at this point, Shaylee was now in college, a similar story to what we've heard with some of the other NBTs. Hey, you know what they say, kids, stay in school. But she did put out a second EP called The Whole Sun Bouncing Upon My Knees on February 25th, 2022. Shaylee has stated that this EP was her college thesis project, and it's a very personal project about family and growing up.
You haven't missed me like I missed me, I bet. just to get to the end. But I am here again, I'm here.
And as of right now, The Whole Sun Balancing Upon My Knees was Shaylee's last official music release.
Here again, I'm here.
Now, Shaylee is active on social media, as she works for an independent news publication called Project Censored, where she is the associate director. Project Censored's mission is to promote critical media literacy, independent investigative journalism, and critical thinking. They do this by providing teaching guides and workshops to educators through their own published books and web articles, and through podcasts and videos. Now, for this video, I've listened to Shaylee on some of Project Censored's podcasts, and she is a very well-spoken person who is speaking up about a lot of issues in the political sphere nowadays, like in this clip where she's talking about media framing.
It's as also simple as like looking at a picture and being like, how is this cropped? How is this taken? What angle was it taken? And how does that influence the way that I see this news story? How does it shape my understanding of this news story? What's in the background? Like, is there maybe something outside of the frame that I'm not seeing? And like asking those questions is like really important.
Now, if you were wondering, Shaylee has actually talked a little bit about her experience on Next Big Thing on her TikTok page.
In many ways, that was the time of my life. I was doing the thing I loved the most. But what I will say is when you're out of the Disney machine, you are out of the Disney machine. And I got my heart broken a few times at the end of that experience and then in the years that followed. But I still make music. I did not disappear. Please don't say that. It makes me feel so bad inside. It's really hard to be compared to your like 12 and 13-year-old self, or at least like be remembered in people's minds as that person forever, because I am different, as we all are when we get older. I've done things that I'm really proud of. I released 2 EPs independently. They're completely different sounds because I am an adult, but you know, we grew up together. We're probably the same age. We're listening to different things. I hope maybe you like this stuff even more.
And if you peruse through her more recent TikToks, she is still performing and singing original songs. So she's not dead! Good for her! Now, is she legally allowed to sing What Can I Say? I don't think so.
I was gonna play What Can I Say in the background, but I can't because of copyright, which is hilarious.
But she's still out there doing the damn thing. Good for her. And maybe one day we'll get some new music from her, which I really hope for because she is a very talented singer. So go check out her 2 EPs, go give her a follow. She really deserves it after everything she went through as a young artist.
Really good question. It actually stands for Next Big Thing. You know, sometimes we don't meet our own personal expectations.
So once again, Shaylee, while very talented and deserving of winning, was unfortunately not able to reach the heights of being the next big thing. So that leaves us with one more NBT winner to talk about. Will they be the ones that Radio Disney has been looking for? Stay tuned to find out.
Thank you to everyone that voted for me. I love you, Radio Disney.
What can I say?
Season 5 of NBT started in the second half of 2012. This season's group of artists were introduced at a 3-night showcase at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Disney World from June 22nd to the 24th, with a 15-city tour following starting July 1st. On September 17, 2012, each contestant's first singles were featured on Radio Disney, and then available on iTunes the following week. Then, the Disney Channel audience was introduced to each contestant in hometown segments that aired during the commercials of the premiere of the Disney Channel original movie Girl vs. Monster, and the series premiere of Dog with a Blog on October 12, 2012. Voting then started 2 weeks later on October 26 and ended on December 3rd, 2012, with the winner announced on December 8th at a finale concert at the Americana at Brand in Los Angeles. The winners would get a song of theirs released by Disney Music Group, serve as the opening act at the previously mentioned finale concert, and get the chance to perform on an episode of the Disney Channel series Austin and Ally. The 5 artists featured this season were singers Jack Sculler, Damian Autry, Catherine Hughes, Elle Winter, and the winners of this season, another sister duo, and they were named Chloe and Chloe and Halle? You mean like the Chloe and Halle? Oh, fuck. So yes, Chloe and Halle Bailey were the winners of the 5th season of Radio Disney's Next Big Thing, which is kinda crazy, because if you don't already know, Chloe and Halle Bailey are kind of big things. I mean, for crying out loud, Halle over here went on to become the little fucking mermaid. And that's not even to mention that both of them together and them individually each have over 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Like, damn. And that's not even mentioning that they were mentored by Beyonce. Beyonce! Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we get into all of that, what was their time like on NBT? Well, Chloe and Halle weren't all that unfamiliar to the Disney Channel audience at this point, as they played church choir members in the Disney Channel original movie, Let It Shine, which aired in June of 2012. So like, right before everything with this season of NBT got started. And hey, hallelujah, because they are in the very first scene of this movie, saving me so much goddamn time. Unlike fucking Starstruck. During NBT, they put out 2 original songs, the first titled TMI, and the second one was titled Take It All. During some segments that were shown on Disney Channel, Chloe and Halle and the rest of the contestants were given one-on-one time with their NBT mentors, which were Ross Lynch and Laura Marano from Austin and Ally, the previous NBT winner Shay Lee, and singer Cher Lloyd. After the audience's votes knocked out 3 of the other contestants, it was then announced at the finale concert in LA that Chloe and Halle beat out the second place finisher Elle Winter to become the next Radio Disney NBTs. Chloe and Halle then got to put out a brand new song through Disney Music Group titled Unstoppable, which they got to perform on Season 2, Episode 24 of Austin and Ally, Moon Weekend Mentors, which premiered September 15th, 2013.
Austin and Ally rock it out as talent coaches.
We gotta make sure we pick a contestant who can win.
But being a music mentor,
We noticed she had some trouble looking up when she sang.
may hit a sour note.
Allie put my head in a dog cone.
Can Austin and Ally turn this shy girl into a superstar?
We're gonna win, because we're much better coaches than those fools.
You realize your mics are on.
NBT's Chloe and Halle guest star on an all-new Rockin' Austin and Ally. Sunday, September 15th at 8:30, 7:30 Central on Disney Channel.
Oh, hey, Sabrina Carpenter, how you doing? And then Beyonce entered their lives, as she does at some point in every young girl's life. It all started when Chloe and Halle uploaded a video of them singing Beyonce's song Pretty Hurts to YouTube on December 22nd, 2013, which got the attention of Queen Bee herself. 2 weeks later, the sisters were contacted by Beyonce's team, wanting to sign them to her Parkwood Entertainment label, and the sisters jumped at the opportunity, and they were signed to a 6-album deal in 2015. They were then featured in Beyonce's Lemonade visual album, they performed at the White House Easter egg hunt in 2016, went on tour with Beyonce, put out an EP and a mixtape, became regular actors on the Freeform show Grownish, put out a full album, went on tour with Beyonce again, got nominated for 2 Grammys for that album, performed at Super Bowl 53, then the pandemic happened. They then put out another album, which got them nominated for some more Grammys. Then they started working on solo ventures, like Chloe's debut album In Pieces, and acting in projects like Donald Glover's Swarm. And Halle went and worked on her swimming and loved it so much that she became the little goddamn mermaid. So yeah, I think I can say with full confidence that they did indeed find the next big things. Radio Disney did it, everybody. They can now rest. And I mean literally, because as I've mentioned throughout this video, after Chloe and Halle's season, NBT as we knew it was over, and they changed it to promoting already established artists that were already getting radio airplay. You know, it just makes me wonder if Radio Disney changed NBT after Chloe and Halle won because they saw so much potential in those girls, and they were like, you know what, we will never get anyone better than these girls, so we might as well just wrap this thing up. But let's be real, it's probably because of money. It always is. But it's interesting to look at this group of the second generation of NBTs, because there are some smaller names on there that probably greatly benefited from the publicity that being an NBT gave them. And then you have names on there like Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. Like, come on, you guys. Did you really need the help? It's just a shame because NBT, while not becoming as big as some singing competitions like American Idol, The X Factor, or The Voice, was still interesting and lasted multiple seasons because they stuck to promoting young artists that were under the ages of 18, the same age as the primary Disney Channel and Radio Disney audience. But with the rise of social media, these singing competitions weren't really needed as much because a kid could go viral on YouTube, Twitter, or TikTok by uploading a video of them singing a cover to a song, and that's all it would take for them to get discovered in the industry nowadays. And also how they'd get discovered by Ellen. You didn't need to have connections in the industry anymore, even though it probably would help, or have the world vote for you to become famous and live out your dream. All you needed was a camera, an internet connection, and the strength to share your interests and talent with the world. And with a little bit of luck, someone, maybe even just one person, could find you and spend some time out of their day watching you be yourself. And to you, for doing that just now by watching my video and watching me be myself and share my interests with all of you, thank you. You really make me feel like I'm an NBT. A niche, boisterous tuber. Yeah, alright, okay. That is in fact the best I could come up with at this point, alright? I mean, how can I come up with something better when earlier I already said natural big tits? It's time to talk about all the other NBT contestants. So I wanted to do a lightning round where I go over all the other contestants that were in the 5 seasons of NBT that there were, and kind of go over if any of them are still making music or have done anything significant. I'll try my best to cover everybody, but if somebody falls through the cracks that I didn't deem significant enough, I'm sorry. I want to try and keep this part fast though, so we're only going to go through their very top level accomplishments, alright? Sound good? Cool. Let's get going! Blue Skadood Weekend 2! Woo! Right into Season 1! Season 1. Sarah Solovey, who professionally goes by Sully, went on to become a very accomplished songwriter, having written songs like Take You Dancing for Jason Derulo, Summer of Love for Shawn Mendes, and was even nominated for a Grammy for writing on the song One in a Million by David Guetta and Bebe Rexha. Cody Fry went on to become a singer-songwriter and composer, and he even competed on the 14th season of American Idol. Let me tell you, this Cody Fry guy, he loves singing competitions. Is that the fucking guy that sang the Happy Elf song? Oh my god, my life is a never-ending loop. Oh my god, everything's connected. My life is like Madam Web. But you would most likely know Cody Fry from his song I Hear a Symphony, which went really viral on TikTok a few years ago. And he was also nominated twice in the Best Arrangements, Instrumental, and Vocal category in the 2022 and the 2025 Grammys for his arrangements of the Beatles' Eleanor Rigby and Simon & Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence. Pushplay's lead vocalist, CJ Barron, went on to become a producer and songwriter, working with big names like Carly Rae Jepsen, Marina, and The Living Tombstone, amongst others. All-Star Weekend was on the first season of NBT, and they didn't even win! What the fuck? I think everybody watching this is probably at least a little bit familiar with All-Star Weekend, but in case you aren't, they later became a very popular band to us 2000s kids, having big hits like Not Your Birthday, Dance Forever, and A Different Side of Me. They toured with Selena Gomez in the scene and went on Warped Tour before disbanding in 2013. If you want more details about All-Star Weekend and their success, I highly recommend this podcast interview that Zach Porter of the band did back in 2023 on the Voice Party podcast. Also, quick shout out to my friend Sean. He suggested that I do a video about All-Star Weekend a long time ago, which kind of inadvertently led me to making this video that you're watching right now. So shout out to my boy Sean. Everybody say thank you, Sean. Thank you, buddy. I love you. Season 2. Josh Golden, who now makes music as Joshua Golden, has gone on to make a lot of music, and he's been featured on songs like Whit Lowry's Put Me First and Kyle's Butcha. But most notably to any of my old YouTube heads out there, I know some of you are out there watching. Come on, hi. He was in Ryan Higa's Coffee Shop Love video and song. That's him. That's crazy. If you want to check out some of his new stuff, I recommend his song St. Louis, Missouri, and I Can't Wait to Meet You. Symphonique Miller has released music since being on NBT, but she's most well known for being on a bunch of Nickelodeon shows like Big Time Rush, Winx Club, and How to Rock. Also, she's the daughter of the rapper and producer Master P, and her brother is Little Romeo. Well, I guess he goes by just Romeo now, but I know him as Little Romeo. He was on the Disney Extreme Skate Adventure soundtrack. Hell yeah. I was blasting that song while I was skating around Hollywood. Woo! But most importantly to me, Symphonique voiced Holly, one of the Fireside Girls in the first season of Phineas and Ferb. So that means that she voiced this iconic line.
Sorry, we're all out of flyers.
Poster.
Nope.
Action figures.
Sold out.
Commemorative coin.
All gone.
Anybody send glossy photo?
Those went like hotcakes.
The band Crop Circle changed their name in 2011 to Palais Royale, and they have gone on to become a very popular rock band, having over 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Now, I'm not super familiar with them at all. They're not really my type of music. I did check them out for the video, though. So if you want any recommendations from this schmuck right here, I liked their song Showbiz. And finally, we got Gabby Wilson, aka Her. Her? Yes. Her. Gabby went on to become the most well-known artist to come out of NBT, like indisputably. She goes by the stage name Her and has gone on to sell over 1.5 million albums and win several awards, including 5 Grammys and an Oscar for Best Original Song. But no, Jasmine was gonna be the next big thing, you guys. I mean, come on. Disney told us. Yeah, right. Season 3. The only other contestant from season 3 of note is, of course, Coco Jones. She went on to make a name for herself on Disney Channel. She was on a few episodes of So Random. She had a reoccurring role as Kelsey on Good Luck Charlie, and she also starred in the Disney Channel original movie Let It Shine, which also featured NBT winners Chloe and Halle. Coco has also been nominated for 7 Grammys and won one for her song I See You. She's also on that dramatized version of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just called Bel Air, which if you told me was still going on and was getting a final season this year, I would not have believed you. And she also just released her debut album, Why Not More, in April 2025. You go, Coco Jones. It's like Glenn Coco. Y'all get it? I'm so funny. Season 4. There's no one else super noteworthy from season 4, but I do want to take a moment because while I was doing research for that season's part of the video, I kinda got a little bit obsessed with finding out what the hell happened to the runner-up of that season, the Justin Bieber wannabe, Zach Montana. Because there was this voice in the back of my mind screaming, this kid is doing something weird nowadays. I just know it. And guess what? I was right. Our boy Zach Montana, he now goes by Zach Zilla and dresses up like a fucking Power Ranger for his music videos, which, by the way, are all directed by Richie Jackson, Lady Gaga's former longtime choreographer. Emphasis on former. And also, Richie Jackson directed JoJo Siwa's Karma music video. Oh my god, Zach, no! Get away from the cringe! Well, honestly, I mean, look at him. He kind of looks like he's embracing it at this point. Good for him. He knows his brand. Oh, and also, our boy Zach Zilla over here, he's been posting TikToks recently looking like this. So, yeah. I just thought y'all should know. Season 5. Catherine Hughes from season 5 went on to become an actor and director, being in projects like Me or On the Dying Girl, season 2 of Hulu's Tell Me Lies, and most recently, a horror film called The Dead Thing. She's also directed some of her own independent short films, 2 of them being Yellow Belt Fury and Happy Mart. Elle Winter, the runner-up of season 5, is still putting out music. She put out her first EP titled Yeah No in March of 2020, and that's the only thing that happened that month. Real quick, something funny that I saw while researching Elle Winter is that all of the comments on the video of her song Yeah No is all just talking about how they found this song through a paid Instagram ad. So hey, Elle, she knows her way around a good paid ad campaign. I respect that. Season 6? So that was a quick rundown of what some of the other NBT contestants got up to, but there is one more elephant in the room that I want to address. If any of you happen to look up NBT on Wikipedia, you'll see that there is a small section for a season 6 of NBT on there saying that a band called the Never Ever won. Now, I have looked everywhere for a single mention of there being a season 6 of NBT or of this band and have found nothing. So as far as I can tell, this is untrue and there has never been a season 6. I did find that there was a band from Sydney, Australia called the Never Ever, but I found absolutely no mention of them being on Radio Disney in general, so I don't think it ever happened. But if some of you viewers are better internet detectives than me, then go ahead and let me know down in the comments down below if you know anything about all of this. I'd love to hear about it, but please be nice about it. Don't be like, actually, you're a fucking idiot, and I hate you, and you should delete your channel for not knowing this single information that had no references on the Wikipedia article, you ignoramus. I swear, a few of my comments have sounded like that. But yeah, that's it for the lightning round, so let's get back to the desk for the outro. Blue Skid Dude, we can too! So, do you remember NBT? Did you ever vote for any of the contestants back in the day? Did you have a favorite contestant on NBT that maybe didn't become the next big thing that you want to talk about? Or do you just miss Radio Disney in general now that it's been gone for almost 5 years? Let me know in a comment down below. I love to hear those types of stories. And hey, while you're down there, maybe subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And oh hey, what's this? The like button? Don't mind if I do, because only you can make me YouTube's next big thing by showing your support. And also, I'd really appreciate it if you did. And hey, if you're interested at all in seeing the full videos that I use in this video, or you wanted to take a look at any of the articles that I reference, you can find the entire list down in the description. And hey, if you want more of me, you can follow me on social media. I'm at Alec Combs, ALECCOMES, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. And you can check out my podcast, Screenplay the Improvised Movie, where two of my friends and I, we talk about a movie or TV show one of us has seen recently, and that prompts us to improvise our very own movie, where we come up with all the dialogue, all the action, all the settings, and all the characters on the spot. And here's a quick clip from our most recent episode to give you a taste.
Clark grabs the handle of the green door and he opens it.
There's a large meadow, and in it, frolicking, are two other Clarks.
Clark takes 2 steps into the door and then he immediately tumbles down a hill.
The two Clarks like shoot their heads up like meerkats looking at what just happened.
They're both naked.
They come running towards the
holding hands
towards the hill. What's going on? You look just like him.
You look just like him.
You guys are clones of me.
I think I'm the original.
No, I'm the original. I've gotta be.
I have the chin scar. They took the DNA sample from me.
You don't have a chin scar.
I don't have a chin scar. Do you have a chin scar?
I don't.
But that can't be. I remember my childhood. That teacher we had.
My memory?
They didn't give us your memory. It's our memory.
Our memory, yeah.
No. You guys are clones of me.
Yeah, you can call me number 2.
So am I number 3 then? That's fucked up.
You can
I
also
want to
be
recount.
No, you can't also be number 2.
You can watch the full video podcast on our YouTube channel, or you can listen to the audio version on any podcast streaming services that you use. And that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit different than my other videos. A lot more research heavy than jokes heavy, but hey, I think it turned out pretty well. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you liked it. If you hated it, don't say anything. I don't want to know. It would hurt my feelings, and I don't want my feelings hurt right now. But yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I will leave you now with a video of me dancing to one of the songs featured in this video, but the song's not going to be overlaid on top of the footage, so it's going to be me dancing in complete silence, so you have to guess what song I'm dancing to. It's like a little game. Ooh. Bye-bye. Okay, so this is quite literally the last thing I need to film for this video. The video is now completely edited. It's done. I just need to film this part. Let's do this. Comment what song you think I'm dancing to down below. Maybe you'll figure it out. Thanks for watching.